Alright, y'all, we back with another video. So today we are going to be doing the score boss. Of course, this event has been out for some time. I was gonna do it yesterday, or I believe the day before yesterday, and I was doing it, but then I didn't really get to it, right? So we're gonna do it and kind of showcase what we did today. There's a little bit of different routes you can take when tackling this. Obviously, the team that I'm going to be using is the team that you see right here. So we're going to have Mai's going to be there for debuffing. Then we're going to have Megami, obviously, for debuffing as well, because he's kind of like one of the best characters to use in the score boss challenges. Then we're going to have Geto, because Geto is an amazing debuffer. And then we're going to have Yuta as our main DPS, because the boss is weak to red. And as you can see, I have 5 dupes on Yuta, so it's like no reason not to use him. In terms of memories, we have this memory on Mai. This is going to provide a physical and curse technique increase to all allies for 2 turns, so it's not a bad memory. It's actually really good. This doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna be rude to you. We don't care about that. So this is all we care about is the skill. So we're gonna use this like the second to last turn. The second last turn before we nuke. Then obviously Megami is going to be using the panda memory, just because this is probably the best memory for charging your ult as quickly as possible. Then on Geto, we're going to be using Kamo's archery lesson, because as you already know, this is probably one of the best support memories in the game currently as it stands for global. On JP, it's still very relevant, but obviously I'm just speaking in global terms. Then obviously Yuta is going to be using Pride. But let's get on with it and actually kind of showcase it, right? Because obviously I've been yapping long enough. Alright, so here we are. First off, we're just going to be kind of stalling. We're not going to do anything crazy. Remember, the main goal is to get to Megami's ult before we do anything.
考えろさよなら飛び込む有効射程よやればいいんでしょやるかさて勝つだ
Alright, so here we're going to use Pride because we're going to start stacking it.
さよなら飛び込む有効射程よ
Okay, so he drained cursed energy from Megami. That's best case scenario, because obviously the less cursed energy that you have on Megami means that you're going to be able to charge your ult quicker.
やるかさて考えろ有効射程よ有効射程よ風穴
That
開
means
け
this
てあげ
next
る
turn we'll be able to get it.
やるか勝つだ有効射程よ立っていられるかなさよなら
Alright, so now before we actually get on with it, there is one thing I did want to say is I definitely could use other characters that can definitely hit a lot harder, and I could probably get a higher score. So for example, I could use like Hollow Purple Gojo and Teen Gojo, for example. Those are like one of the more prominent characters. Despite not being type advantage, they're still going to do tremendous amount of damage, so they're going to work really well here still. But it's difficult for me to do, for me personally, right? This is not going for other people. This is for me personally, because I either do too much damage, right? Because a lot of my characters are really well built, or because my Saki, which is obviously one of my weakest characters in my account, is a little bit too tanky with her levels and her grades, because I already kind of upgraded a majority of my characters, so it's kind of hard to kind of kill off my characters, which is the bad thing, unfortunately. So that's just going to be the biggest reason why we're not going to be using Hollow Purple Gojo or Teen Gojo, even though I would love to use them here, right? I just do too much damage, or it's very difficult for the boss to actually kill my character, right? So here we're just going to skill 1. We're going to ult, right? Because the ult is going to put us into the perfect situation. And then we're going to skill 1 with our Yuta. Okay, so here we're just going to be using our skill 3, right? So skill 3 first. Skill 1 on Megami. That's going to debuff him. Then we're going to start spamming skill 2 on our Geto. And we're going to just show you where my buffs are at with Yuta. So as you can see, I have 4 turns still left on it. And I still have 2 actions or 2 procs left on it. Meaning I never procced it despite all those turns that we did, even though I used it earlier. That's because, like I mentioned earlier, we used the first skill, and the first skill is a physical attack, meaning that it won't actually proc or activate the condition of Pride to actually get the buff or use the buff. So here we're going to use skill 1 again, and then the next turn on the second turn is when we're going to start doing different things. Okay, so we get debuff. Okay, debuff. Okay, debuff. Mine really didn't hit any follow-ups, by the way. Now we're going to use the memory here because obviously the memory gives a buff for 2 turns. So that's going to be for this turn and the final turn of the break stats, which is the most important ones. So we're going to use this and then our ult on this turn, because this is going to give us that damage taken increase for 2 turns, which means obviously we want to use it on the second turn so that way we can increase the damage for this turn and also increase the damage for the following turn. Then we're going to skill 1 again with Megami. And with Geto, we're going to use, of course, the memory, and then we're going to use skill 2 again. We're not going to use his ult at all because the Geto pre-buffs is not going to do a lot of damage. So we're going to skill 2 and then obviously increase the amount of damage that they're going to take from Curse. And then we're going to use Pride here, right? Now, once we use Pride, we're going to get two procs again, and we're going to have another activation essentially for the Pride. And it's going to have like more turns and all that good stuff. So you're going to see that it's going to stack on top of each other. So we're going to use Pride here, and then we're going to use skill 3, right? And then we'll use ult on the last turn because that's when we're going to get the most amount of debuffs. Okay. Debuff. 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 Big damage. Debuff. Alright, and then we go back into skill 3. And then we skill 1 with Megami, skill 2 with Geto, and then here we use our ult. So I'm going to show you, as you can see, we do have 1 here, and then we have another over here. As you can see, we still have 1 time left because we did use our skill 3, and our skill 3 does have a combined attack of physical and curse, meaning that we did activate the Pride, meaning we used one of our procs for the Pride effect. But that's okay because we still have both of them active still, and we still have 1 more proc, which is going to be for the final turn, which is the nuke and the burst turn. So this is going to be the most amount of damage that we're going to be able to get, and then yeah, that's basically going to be it for the score boss. Not bad. Not bad, as you can see. So we got about 42 million. I'm content with that, to be honest. So now we can just basically kill off the enemy. Literally, that's all we gotta do. And it's not gonna do any damage. It's not, yeah. Just kill them off. So as you can see, we got 45 million. Now, I already had a higher score than this. I had like 50 million-ish or something. That was using a different team, but honestly, the team that I made for that really wasn't worth the hassle. So I just went with the more straightforward, more consistent approach using this team, and it still gets the job done. 45 million is still nothing to, you know, scoff at. This is still very good numbers. Anyways, that's basically going to be the global score boss challenge. Nothing crazy, very simple, very easy. I mean, honestly, I just do it just for fun, just to see what I can get. You don't really need a guide for this or anything. Like, all you have to do is just get 10 million-ish or 15 million-ish points, and yeah, you basically get all the rewards. Hopefully in the future they kind of change this and kind of make it a lot more, I guess you could say, competitive, kind of make like some rewards based on how much score you get for, you know, the server, things like that, or kind of increase the amount of rewards you can get, right? Just make it like minor things, nothing crazy, you know. Like maybe just a little bit more XP mats or something like that, just so that way, you know, you can try to aim higher if you need more mats or something like that, just to give some kind of, you know, incentive to make people feel like, oh yeah, maybe I should try to aim for a higher score rather than just trying to get 10 mil or 15 mil and just clearing it out and finishing it up. Anyways, enough ranting. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.